Okay, well, I'm back. What I'm going to do in this video is just go over all the templates that I made. Now, there are drafting tools out there. There, PowerPoint, Publisher. You can do some good stuff in. But basically, what I did was I made all my templates by hand. After looking at Evil Effects' blog and pictures of other cosplay armor, and of course pictures on the screenshots I took from the game. So let's go ahead and get started here, and I'll talk about some of the things that you got to watch out for while you're making this. This is the front chest piece, and width here 13 inches, and I got my cutting board out here, and it's marked, so that should help. So 13 inches, and then 6 inches from curve to curve there. So the overall height 7. But you want to make this keep the proportions correct, but the distance from this edge to this edge is just roughly right across the front of your chest, not even going into the armpit. So there's that. Now, the center chest piece, it's going to have to be a little larger. And here we go. For me, this is 21 inches. And what I did was I measured from the center of my armpit, or excuse me, just in front of the center of my armpit, all the way to the opposite side. And the height on the center piece here is about 5 inches. Yeah, that's 5 inches. And of course, that's going to hide under there. Now, then the abdominal piece, the total height that you see here is going to be 15 inches. But you're going to have a couple of inches at the very top that are actually hidden under the center chest piece, just like that. And then you've got all these detail lines. So let me pull back first, give you the template. And now I'm going to come and zoom in, and that way you can get all the details that you need. And those pencil marks that you see are the detail lines that I cut using the Dremel tool. Okay, let's go to the next one. What we have here is the bicep and the gauntlet pieces. Now, the bicep pieces, you want to measure these around your bicep, but you want this length, you want this little distance right here to be what your bicep is when it's only about half flexed. If you do it when it's fully flexed, this thing's just going to slide right off your arm every time you relax your arm. But if you do it with your arm relaxed, you're not going to be able to bend your arm. Now, remember, I used elastic strapping in there, so when I do bend my arm, even though I do catch it, it does flex, or excuse me, it does expand and contract a little bit. So that worked very, very well. So there's what that looks like. Then I have the gauntlet piece right here. And first off, this area right here should be the same width as this area. And then this piece right here should be the circumference of the meaty part of your upper arm, just below the elbow. Meatiest part of your upper arm, just below the elbow. And again, it's better to make these a little too large than it is a little too small. If they're a little too large, it's easy enough to go back and cut a little bit of material off. And then, of course, this distance right here needs to be the circumference around your wrist, and this distance here needs to be the length of your lower arm from just behind your wrist bone to just below your elbow. And again, measure that on the inside, so when you bend your arm, it doesn't bang up against your elbow. And the vertical measurement here needs to be taken on the inside of your arm, again, from just below your armpit down to just above your elbow. And then on top of that, we have the elbow guard. Very simple, kind of coffin shaped. Remember, 2 layers of foam. You could certainly use a layer of floor foam with a layer of thick craft foam if you wanted to. So let's go to the back. And here's the back pieces. And this is the main back piece right here. And again, just like with the center chest piece, you want to measure this from your armpit, from center of your armpit, or actually just behind the center of your armpit, down to the opposite side. And this one is one where it's not a big deal if it's a little on the too small side, because you do need an inch or so of gap in your armpit to be able to buckle everything together. If you don't have that, you're going to have to go with Velcro, and Velcro doesn't hold as well as it should all the time. But again, my width here is 18 inches, and the overall height, well, from the bottom to the very top of the curve, is 8.5 inches. Now the shield generator box, this thing right here, and the shield generator, and whatever the little doohickey on top of the shield generator, here you go. And again, the box, 9 inches by 7.5 inches. And then, of course, like I said, detail line where I made the fold, a cookie cutter right here. Then this is the shield generator, along with this thing right here. What I did to get these curves, basically I just traced around a shot glass or something like that. I don't remember exactly what I used, but this is 1.5 inches. It is kind of tricky getting that tight curve when you're cutting it, but you know, do your best. Okay. Knocked this on the floor just a second ago, and this is the piece that goes on the back of the glove. And again, this is something that you've got to measure for yourself. It's for me, it's 2.5 by 2.5 because that's how big my hand is. But if you've got a smaller hand, make it a little smaller. If you've got big meaty paws, make it a little bigger. Okay. Again, just get the proportions correct. That's basically what you need to do. So with that, let's keep moving. The next thing I have are these doohickeys, and these are like the ammo pouches things or whatever they are that go on the forearm pieces. And very gentle taper on this. And what you need to do is you need to make these about 2/3 the length of the forearm pieces. And again, 6 inches for me, and put a very shallow taper on these. And then this piece, since it's going to go on top of this, it needs to be smaller, and it should reflect the same angles that you have on here. And then, of course, this curve up here, it's a very shallow curve. I think I found something laying around that had a curve. I just traced that. Okay, let's go. Next one. We're gonna go with the lower back piece next. I'm going to come back to the shoulders. Now the lower back piece is fairly large, and like I said in the video description, I took a full sheet of 12 by 18 craft foam, the 5mm stuff, and I cut it. I cut out what needed to be cut out of it, and that's what this looks like. And then the width at the very bottom here was 6 inches. And again, I found something with a long radius curve on it, so I drew that on there and got that curve. 1.25 inches thickness down here at the bottom, but only 1 inch going up the sides, and then about 1.5 inches right here where it disappears under the back piece. Now, what I did was I cut that center piece out, and then I used this pattern right here to cut out a piece of the floor foam. I didn't cut this top arc right here because, again, this butts up under the back piece. But so what you're going to have is you're going to have a piece that starts right here and ends right here. Now the cutouts right here, these are the detailing that go on the lower back piece, and you can see the width on here, how big they are. You can see that grid line, and those grids, each of those lines is 1/2 inch. So that should give you a pretty good idea of what you want to do. So there's that. So next thing I have up is the outer shoulder pauldron, and again, the width here needs to be, oh wait, where am I at? Ah, here it is. My shoulder pieces, there we go. All right, let's look at the inner one first, inside shoulder first. And you want a gentle curve, and then your height. And I think I might have made this piece a little too small for me, but basically what I did was I went from my upper chest to the top of my shoulder blade to get this width right here. And 12 inches seemed to work okay. Maybe, like I said, maybe could have made it a little larger. And you might want to cut this area out where it might bump into the top of the chest piece. Again, test fitting, you know, and again, this piece might right here might have to come out to make some room for the back piece. But for me, it worked pretty well. So up to you. Now coming to this piece, this is the outer shoulder pauldron, and again, the center here needs to be the width of your inner shoulder pauldron after it's been shaped, and the overall width of this, I added, it looks like 6 inches. Yeah, 5 inches right here to that curve. So overall width was 17 inches. So added these little wings right out here are 5 inches. So now I'm going to keep going through here, but real quick I want to